What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Get On My Level. I do believe this is episode 7. We got a little bit going on today. Nothing huge, groundbreaking news. Couple small things here and there, interesting to talk about. First of all, we're gonna say what's up to the boys. What's up, Life? What's up, Android? How's it going?
Good, bro.
Howdy, fella.
Motherfucker. My
Something happened.
my energy drink decided to rip out part of my mustache.
What?
You know
What?
the little tab, right? On the top.
Oh, I was like, damn,
Yeah.
this is horrible. If you ever wanted them to be an endorsement,
Bruh, that shit.
motherfucker ripped off your mustache.
Yeah, it's just that fucking tab. That's the perks of having a mustache. Anyways, so
I literally thought you meant the fucking energy drink. You burned your motherfucking mustache off.
Wax that motherfucker right off. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be some wild shit. I'd be like, oh hell no. Looking at
Like, oh my god, what? Your mustache fell out from drinking an energy drink?
Bruh, that'd be boy. Let it happen. Let it happen.
Boy, Dragon sound. I'm gonna be living a different life after the lawsuits.
Bro, we have got some money going on now, kiddos.
I'm fully funded after this shit.
I don't care if the 3080 is fucking $3,000. I got one, bitch.
That's hilarious.
All right,
man. I was about to say some game related shit.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I found a little black market deal. A friend of a friend of a friend.
Ooh.
2 racks for a 3090, bruh.
Jesus.
That's the same thing I said.
Did you?
God damn, I ain't gonna lie. I thought about it.
There was a part of me that was like, well, see what happened was.
There was a part of me like, well, if I just get that and not the monitor yet, then it wouldn't be so bad.
You know, you're not wrong. Did you see some of the things I posted in the notes?
Yeah.
So there seems to, maybe to kind of segue off of that, light at the end of the tunnel, due to how the shit's getting mined. It's also helping change. They've cracked down heavily in China and I think Russia. What a lot of people I don't think understand is like, it's not that it's, I don't know how to put it. It's not that it's necessarily a bad thing to like mine for, the shit.
Environmentally it is actually, but
yes, yeah,
that's a whole other part of it.
That's one of those things. It's kind of like these people are kind of outrageous. Like if you got like a small setup, there's one thing. If you over there with these motherfuckers that have like 90 computers running in a warehouse all day, all night, that's bad.
That's fucking excessive.
Yeah.
And
they're the types of people that are ruining the market.
And as I've read, most of these stories, the people that they're catching are stealing this power.
yeah. They're not paying for it. So that's the biggest, the biggest, I guess, black eye for it is that it is a very power heavy process. And when I say power heavy, like it's for the non-initiated, a gaming rig eats power. I mean, it fucking eats power. So if you're running like 3080s, 3090s fucking maxed out, you're running up a light bill and then some.
But how do you feel? Okay, I'm gonna ask this question. It's gonna change the way the market is, but you're also about to get a bunch of shitty product in the market. If the product is gonna flood the market, it's gotta be shitty because it's been running nonstop at full tilt for however long that they could run it.
I agree and disagree. Maybe just depends on how long it's been sitting there, you know what I mean? Like, some shit, like, lasts forever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Computer parts don't, though.
I mean, I know. It's just like, some last longer than you would expect, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. But the way the market is already set up, when these things enter, let's say if somebody threw a 20, I was about to say a 2080, nobody gives a shit about that at this point.
Some people might if it's cheap enough.
at this point, though. I mean, if you're really looking for, if you get to this point and you're looking for a 3080 and it comes available on eBay,
I mean,
you're
fair.
Definitely not looking at a 2080. But
I mean, fair.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say, I think just putting more options in the market in general helps also. You know what I mean? It helps with the stagnation.
This isn't a situation where we're getting new dies and they're making new product. This is them turning over what they got from. I'm assuming this is a lot of the cars that have been kind of swallowed up. Yeah.
Well, right. I just mean that if people start looking, because obviously if people start seeing that there aren't any new ones to buy, they're going to start trying to look to buying them secondhand. So I think maybe perhaps if you flood the market with secondhand product and that helps lower the price a bit for it secondhand anyway, then that might help give it a little bit of time for them to start trying to shelve with the new stuff, you know.
I'll say this: the market, regardless, needs more shit, whether it's burned up cards. Because paying 800 for a 1650,
this is true,
is stupid. There's no fucking world that should be happening. So for people that don't know, if you were to put the cards on a tier list, the 3070, 3080 and above are like S tier, the best. Your 3060s, 2080s, like I think the TIs. Did they do a 2070 Ti? I can't remember. I never kept up. Once I got my 2080, I just stopped paying attention.
I believe they did do a TI for 2070, and that's where they ended it at.
Yeah,
they start getting into like the 1650s, and they start tweaking all of that level shit.
Yeah, the high end, 20 series cards, that's A tier. These are the things that you want if you're buying for a gaming computer that are gonna last you a good while. And when I say a good while, we're talking about like 6-7 years of good quality use from this card, if not more, depending on what you're trying to play. Like if you're not trying to play fucking GTA on max settings, like with ultra realistic rendering bullshit, you're more than happy with your card. Once you get below that, the B tier is like sprinkled with bullshit. You have to get some pretty expensive cards, and even them, they're good, but you're on the back end. So that'd be like the 1080s. TI's 1070 Ti's, like Life is running. He's still running a 1070, so it's proven that it's a good card.
Yep, runs everything pretty damn good. Like
you should not pay over
down to Call of Duty. Running pretty fucking good. I'm running pretty high settings on a lot of shit on my Call of Duty. The only thing I don't get is very like crazy high frame rate, but literally, I mean, I'm getting about 60 frames per second with my current settings, which works for me.
Yeah. And I don't believe you should be paying over $300 for those cards at this point in its life cycle, right? Because that card's been out for a long fucking time. Under that is what is the C tier, and there's nothing in it that's really worthwhile buying. So I do not see a world where you pay more than $200 for these cards. And this is your 1660 Supers, 1650 Supers, your other crack cards, because these cards are, when you go look at them performance-wise, they don't come close to any of the B tier cards, right? Like you can't push them to even get close to those. You've literally got something that is no better than probably the last gen cards for systems.
Yep.
So there's no world that I should pay over $200. In fact, I shouldn't be paying $200 for the motherfucker.
Yeah, no. If I was able to get the 3080 like I wanted, the 3080 when it first came out, I was willing to sell my 1070 at around $250, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But now the way the market is, shit, I would be a fucking idiot to sell my card at $250.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
The chips aren't there. So if somebody is looking to build or buy a gaming rig, your graphics card now has fucking shot up in price because availability of product doesn't exist.
Does not. And that's where like the debate comes on, like, would these cards be worth it? I mean, as long as the market isn't stupid and they're like, like.
But that's the problem. The market is stupid. right now.
Again, and that's based off the consumers. If people are out there buying them for their gaming rigs at fucking a burned up card for $700 still, it's like there's nothing we can do about that though. That's consumer driven. We can't do shit about that.
Well, this is the issue, right? There's no. If I get on eBay right now, I couldn't tell you what was new, used, or anything because there's nothing formally that tells me. We're literally taking the word of the seller, and then True. eBay is backing that, right? Or I can't even say eBay is backing that. eBay
not to mention that they can just lie and say that it's new when this is a fucking
All I can do is go in and technically just check and make sure it's a working product.
Yeah.
And that's all eBay can guarantee me is you get a working product.
But
how long the duration of that is
but that's always been the issue, right? Buying used products that's always been when you have something that is based off of like non-certifiable, right? I guess is the best way to put that. Like you can, but like there's not many that do
secondhand.
Right?
Yeah. When you're dealing in the secondhand market, you're dealing with the unknown.
Yeah, it's kind of a crapshoot. We all know, like us, we know, right? Kind of what to look for, what to watch out for. There's a lot of people that get got a lot.
You say that shit. I'm plead ignorance. I no longer know what to look for.
Well, like, I mean, there's to a certain degree.
There's a lot of scams out there that I'm like, man, these motherfuckers is sophisticated. Boy, these boys out here doing they thing. Like some of the scamming, bro, you gotta admire it because you be like, boy, these boys creative.
Yeah, like I'm not saying that we're impervious to it. I'm just saying like the chances of us getting got are lower than somebody that pays no attention. Right? That
definitely. My antennas is up always. Yeah. So
we go into it's kind of like how we joked about the we don't believe game companies and the bullshit that they pull, right?
Yeah.
It's really no different than that. We're more trained to look for the it's like, nah, there's no way, this is too good to be true type of look, you know. In no world does this sound like this is gonna really be, you know, a 3080 for fucking $400 that's brand new. It's like
that's the other problem. These aren't going to come into the market at retail price. These are going to come in above retail price because that's what the market says. The marketplace says, sell this shit. You may have paid $800, sell it for $1,300 at a minimum.
Yeah, and that's what
because that's what consumers are paying.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if people keep doing that, though, like,
it's gonna take for people to get burned. But my thing is this is one of those things where it could work for a year. As soon as it gets outside of that warranty, you're
It could. So
this is more of a buyer beware type of situation. I guess is what I'm saying.
True.
And that's one of the things I'm seeing is there's a lot of people saying, "Hey, when these cards hit the market, do not fucking buy," and like they start listing the reasons, right? Like
it's impossible, dog. As a consumer,
I understand.
And somebody who's stuck in the middle of building a computer, you like, bro, I need something.
Again, I'm just saying this is like for the people that are in that situation. It's like just because you see it, don't panic and go buy now. Yeah, there's gonna be the people.
If you're that person, you're a fucking idiot. If you don't need it and must have, and you buy this from the used market, you're an idiot. But I'm speaking to the people who are stuck with the 560s and can't run any games really smoothly. Like,
like I said, I get that.
Or purchasing 1600s, and it's like, bro, this is true, right? I mean, I said 1600s, but I meant 1060s, or even 1650s. But I'm just like, bro, I feel for those people.
I mean, I get it, I do, but at the same time, it's kind of like that's just where we're at, you know, like. It's one of those really unfortunate situations. It was the perfect storm of bullshit to make it where we are, and it's like I don't expect them to hold out, but there's the other people that it's like, wow. At the same time, like I look at it and I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. If you don't need it and you're buying a card for an over the top price, that's just stupidity, and it's gonna happen, but it doesn't have to. And that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna ask you this: what's an over the top price at this point?
Anything well over MSRP. Like if you're buying a used car for 500 to 600 over MSRP, and you like I said, we know they've been burned up. Yeah, they're still worth something, but that's like me buying my car, right? And I know cars are probably the worst thing to compare to because they lose value so heavy. But at the same time, in some ways, it isn't, right? If this car's been, if it's been, comparison. Yeah, if it's been overclocked and burning, the midnight oil, so to speak, that thing isn't worth. It's not going to last 6-7 years, right? Like you're going to start having issues pretty fast. So you don't like I can't go sell my car, right? Like let's say I bought my car for 20. I can't go sell it for 40 just because the car market's low right now. Like still nobody's going to like unless
so
it's
I'm enlightening you on this, but go ahead.
Unless it was like premium, like I'm talking about like how these cars, like you see it, it's like, yeah, this car's been hella used. Oh, it's got a lot of miles on it too. I don't know.
But that's the thing. More. So I'm gonna stop you right there. So, and I'm gonna use the same car analogy. So right now, used cars are up in value, right? So if I really wanted to, I could hack my Dodge Challenger and stop calculating miles completely. Mm-hmm. Because there's programs that allow you to do it. So if I go turn my Dodge Challenger in right now, and if you see the condition of my car, it damn near still looks new. I'm the one owner, 70,000 miles. If I stop clocking my odometer and the condition of my interior never changed, you would think it was a 70,000 mile car, even if I put another 30,000 miles.
I believe it. I believe you take care of that shit.
And so, to me, that's the same thing with these graphics cards. You don't really know what any of those internals are. You don't really know how bad those internals are. You don't know how well they've been maintained. And when they hit the market, there's such a thirst for these cards specifically that there's going to be a surge in purchasing, and you won't know about it for 2 to 3 years, which is really going to be a fucked up situation for a lot of people. And that's where it's like, man, buyers beware, bro, because you don't know what you're getting for real.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree with that.
There's gonna be a lot of bad product in the market at the same price as good product, sometimes slightly better. It's gonna be almost impossible to determine. It's like trying to pick out a flood card that's been cleaned up. You can't tell that shit until you go look at a report that tell you it's been in a flood almost all the time, or until you take it in and something is wrong and they be like, oh, this car was in a flood. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, fair enough. Like I said, it's not a perfect system, and it's one of those, like, you do have to be careful with what you do, but at the same time, like, I can't get mad at any, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just random ass people taking advantage of random ass people. Like, that's been happening since the dawn of time. Like, I can't be upset by it because it's just like, I can only do so much, right? Like, I'm not buying any cards right now, so for me, it's like,
yeah,
all I can do is like tell people don't do that. Like, I tell my homeboys, like, well, what are we looking at? I'm like, if you see it over this price, don't touch it. That's literally what I tell people. And like, he wants to finish his computer bad, but like at this point, he listens to me word is bong type. He's like, so far I've got him good deals on a lot of shit or steered him in the right direction. So he's like, all right, cool. Like that. So that's not a good enough. I'm like, hell no.
So I'm just to put a button on this topic. I'm gonna just say, buyers beware. Also, if you haven't already started building your computer, it seems like the pre-built market is thriving with new graphic cards.
Yeah, I wouldn't say new. I wouldn't say new.
Minimal wait time. What you think they're giving you hand-me-downs too?
When I say new, when you say new, I think 1650s and 1660s are not new. Like, they can be brand new off the shelf, but that's
yeah. When I say new, I mean as in never been used before.
Yeah,
not new to the market. That's not what I'm trying to say.
My biggest issue is that you're getting these computers, because I've looked into a lot of them. You're getting like i5 or the Ryzen 5 series with like maybe 16 gigs of RAM, maybe. And that's a strong maybe. Like again, it depends on the variant of the computer you're getting pre-built, right? A couple other small things, and then you're getting a 1660, and they're like, "Hey, that's $1,700 computer," and I'm like, "You're on crack."
No, that's the market. See, what you're doing is you're telling yourself, "This is what I know I could have built it at back when I built my computer," and basing it on that information. The problem is those products aren't available.
Well,
So
I'm not oblivious to that. That's one of
called
those things.
inflation, my dude.
Well, like I understand inflation, but at the same time, this is like it's not a permanent like that's like me being like, hey, I need a car and I'm gonna go buy this fucking Pinto for 30,000, or I'm gonna shell out a little extra.
That is fair. It is inflation due to availability.
Yeah.
So if they become more available, the price will go back down.
Is what we assume.
It's just, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But like, you know, what it is that people are just being impatient.
Yeah, and
I think
that's what's causing
you know, everybody's just like, you know, just chill out and wait.
Because
wait your turn.
What you're failing to see that I'm saying, it's like I'm not saying that like some of the prices aren't okay, because I've seen a couple of the computers built for pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, like I said, you're getting like mid-range processors, mid-range memory, low-end storage. Like the storage on some of these is laughable. I'm seeing computers being pushed out at like 500 gigabytes, and then another 500 gigabyte SSD. And it's like, for people that are not good at math, that's one terabyte. You got to take out one of them that's going to be a little bit lower, so you're not, of course, getting a full terabyte. This shit, all these components are hella cheap, except for the fucking graphics card. And then you're selling me a shit graphics card with mid-level things that you're quantifying the price because the graphics card market. No, they're just doing a really good hustle and people are falling for
it. And what I'm telling you is it's not a hustle considering where the market sits.
Again, well, a lot of the 1660s aren't that expensive. Like they're expensive, but they're not $1,000 expensive all the time. Especially not to the people like the people doing the retail pre-builds, because they get that shit at a different price than we do.
Just because I get it at a cheap rate, that doesn't mean I'm gonna sell it at a cheap rate. I'm selling it to you based on what the market. Everything is when I'm selling shit to you, I just want you to know it's a hustle.
I understand it's a hustle, but like
there's a markup in everything. Like that's the way the system works.
But you're trying to justify it, saying, "Oh, it's just because of the market." And I'm like, yeah, and then
no,
what I'm saying
telling you the way that they are justifying it. Like, you're telling me I'm trying to justify? No, I'm telling you the way it's being justified.
And that's because people let it be justified. It's not. You're saying it like it's going to stay that way. It's like if people stop just panic buying shit. Again, in this day and age, that's going to be a fucking miracle. But
so what you're doing is you're wishing on a star, and I'm telling you where we currently sit in reality.
I'm not wishing on a star. Like I said, I'm telling you.
You're telling me you wish people would stop buying these things, but we know. And in the very next breath, you're telling me that you know people won't.
Okay, no, I think what Dragons is more or less doing is just making an observation of what he believes to be the problem and presenting a solution. You know what I mean? Rather than just being like,
product can't be the solution to the consumer who's looking for the product.
Why can it not?
I mean, I don't necessarily.
So if I'm gonna give you the car analogy again. If I'm sitting at home and I know I gotta walk, but I got enough money, I could go out and buy a car, but it's currently inflated, but I need the car, I'm gonna go buy the car.
Well, to me, it's not about the inflation; it's about the availability. You know what I mean? It's like you want a cookie now, but you can't have the cookie now. You got to wait till after dinner. You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't know.
You see, what you're leaving out of that equation is the fact that we don't know if the market will ever go back to what it was.
Well, I agree, and that is partially because people won't quit panic buying the cards. You know what I mean? If they're being bought up, you know, because people are afraid that it's not going to be available. it's also they're probably being scalped to a degree. That could be part of the issue too. They're almost definitely being scalped also, so that's also part of the issue. And
so what I'm telling
you can rely partially on the goodwill of certain people to just wait their turn, but that's not going to matter if you've got people that have automated bots set up that are just going to buy up the full stock the second it becomes available.
That's my point.
I don't know.
Right now,
there's
everything that is
50-50
profitable
there to me
has been there's been bot implementation. So I'll do it from a sneaker standpoint because I'm a sneaker head, right? Jordans became fucking almost impossible to get because of bots, right? Nike never changed their price. The resale price just went up. So now there's a market, there's a whole other consumer base that's willing to pay those markup prices. Nike hasn't changed their price, but now there's incentive for that secondary market to buy up supply so that they can raise price. What would be where's the incentive here for that secondary market to stop buying up all the cards?
Because a lot of times they don't resell it.
But what I'm telling you is they are reselling.
A lot of the people that are doing the mining aren't reselling them. Like there's a handful of people that are taking advantage of.
Now you're just talking about the mining market. I'm talking about the market in totality.
That's what I'm getting at. Like it's not that these cards are being like you're out there. They're finding a card. Period is a pain in the ass. That's Correct. What I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If people are out there slinging these cards like scalpers, then there would be more cards to be had. Like just in general. I can search most of the day and I'm not finding a 2080 or 2030 series. It's just not happening. Like even if I want to get my ass scalped off, I can't find them.
So I can tell you've never dealt with this sneaker culture, right? These Jordans, let's say Nike is currently producing, before they were producing 250,000 shoes, right? And they were hard to come by, and that was before the bots. The bots enter the realm. Nike is now producing 750,000 shoes. The shoes are twice as hard to fucking get because there's a secondary market that grew out of the demand and lack of supply. So that market has not gone away, even though Nike has grew the supply. What the secondary market realized was there is money to be made if we can control the supply. So if I'm able to get it before you can get it, every time, you're always dependent on the secondary market. That's what's occurring.
To a degree. But like I said, we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, true. But how long? Where are we waiting? We talking years? We talking months? We talking.
These are not. That's the thing. Like,
well, what are you exactly waiting for, right?
You're putting it like how long? It's like I don't know because, like I said, before all this, it wasn't that bad, right? Like I said, it was a perfect storm to cause this. It wasn't like, oh, people are seeing this and they're taking advantage of it. No, it's just some people are taking advantage of it. I'm not gonna lie. That's why you have people scalping PlayStations for fucking insane amount and the price of those going up. But at some point, that's going to level off because a lot of these companies are still losing money to a certain degree. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the people are going out buying them and like.
And I'm gonna say one more thing, just based on what you just said. Losing money is just them missing money. They could still be in the black, profitable, but they understand that they left money on the table. That's losing money to most businesses.
Yeah, and
leaving money on the table, and that's just because their inability to produce. But for the company, if I say I produce 250,000 and I sell 250,000, I don't give a fuck who I sold those 250,000 to. I sell them every time I put them out there. I sell them 250,000 in my pocket.
Again,
for whatever price.
That I don't disagree with. Like for like the consoles and shit, like that's gonna drop because they have to keep moving. You know.
Oh yeah, because demand at some point demand will level off because it'll get into enough people's hands.
Yeah, But like I said, a lot of it was them, like especially the consoles. It's like they just can't produce enough to stay with the demand, and that's bad for them because this is like they don't want that thirst to go away, right? Because I think was it PlayStation or Xbox last time? It took them damn near the lifespan of the system to fucking break even for the system. That's rough.
Yeah,
that's real rough.
No,
like,
that's Xbox. Xbox had the issue.
Yeah, that's PlayStation. Yeah,
PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 had that issue also.
And I think Xbox has had it with every generation of console.
I want to say, well, the 360 because of the bullshit that came with the 360. When they finally admitted all the issues, and they had to fucking fix them all. That's when they started operating like at a.
They took a. I know for a fact they took a loss on the very first Xbox they created. They took a loss on 360, and I'm not 100% sure about the one at this point. The one might have made money, maybe.
I would think so because it came close to beating the PS4. Well, I know domestically.
Yeah, when at least in the West, right?
Yeah.
The Xbox One did really, really well, but PS4 did not.
Yeah, PS4 won overall when you think globally. It was a good ways behind over here, and it might have been Europe or somewhere else, but it was like Asia, and then like, was it Australia or somewhere like that? Like another just off country helped push the PlayStation. I'm like, who even knew they played that shit? But think about it, I did have more foreign friends on the PlayStation.
Well, I was about to say, you really didn't think they played that shit?
Well, like the PlayStation, right? Like it just a lot of the other countries, like I'll give Xbox that. Like it feels like a lot of the shooters and shit are like endorsed or backed, through Xbox usually, right? So I'm trying to think.
Right. So it's like why PlayStation specifically?
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Because like a lot of times I met foreigners, especially on PlayStation, right? Because I was a shooter, like Mag, the CODs and shit. And I was like, but Xbox had deals with especially COD, right? They've been the system for Call of Duty for a hot minute.
You want me to tell you exactly why? Brand loyalty.
True.
So Xbox came out at a later time than PlayStation. PlayStation had a built-in customer base. Most players were used to, because I ain't gonna lie, I bought a PlayStation 2 just off the strength of having a PlayStation 1. Then when I converted over to Xbox, I bought the 360 off the strength of having the first Xbox. But for most people, they're loyal to their brand. They've built in a base with their customer. So it's very hard to get people to switch. You might get somebody to buy a secondary console of the other brand, but for the most part, if your friend group is there, if everything that you like about it is similar or close enough to similar to the other product, it's hard to get people to change their mind.
I mean, fair, but like you got to look at it like we said, Xbox won out over here, right?
Definitely, American-made product.
So, in a lot of the I think even South America, a lot of the times, it's still PlayStation. You're saying the reach of the marketing doesn't go that far? It's not that heavy of an influence.
So the difference is that's yeah. I'm gonna answer. So the way it looks to me, and this is from my vision, is a lot of people are satisfied with the product that PlayStation puts out. I'm not losing anything if I go over to PlayStation. Actually, I'd be gaining a bunch of single player games that I might like and or love. But what I'm losing for me is my community. And my community at this point is the most important thing to me.
Fair enough.
So why change brands if my community is already developed?
So let me ask you this. So for the people
exactly.
For the people that don't play a lot and especially me, like I've played on both systems an insane amount, right? And Life, I think's played a little bit. You remember the cats at the Pinoys, right? Always South America's, Yep. I ran into that more heavily, I think, on the PlayStation. But at the same time, and like for all the people out there, They may hear I ain't hating on a lot of these countries, but facts be facts. Their internet ass is hell. Do you think that?
Sure.
Do you think that might have a part to do with?
I believe it. I believe it.
So we can kind of segue that because this goes into 2 points. I had planned on talking about this, but I've thought about it for a while, right? A lot of these countries, like let's take places in South America, right? A lot of the internet is ass as hell, if they have internet at all, right? Hence why with like a lot of esports scenes, bro, you don't hear a lot of people come out of like South America, hell, even Mexico. I think over here, there's like 1 or 2 people that are from Mexico in the Rocket League scene. We have South American teams, but when I say like for Mexico and Canada, they fit into the North American group, right? So we have a lot of coverage over there, right?
Yep.
I can only think of 2 Mexican players, and I can't remember the other cat's name because he plays on a lower team. But I remember seeing it because I was like, shit. So I heard of some kid that was evidently killing it from there, right? But they don't have the availability to play against our players because unless you live in one of X cities, you basically don't have fucking internet. Like you're not playing fucking Rocket League on a 400p. It's just not happening.
I'll say this. One, that's a lot of these countries actually have better internet service than us. And the only reason I know that is because I've looked into that shit, especially around the time of like broadband kind of coming into the market for America. Because I was like, man, why is our when high speed was considered like fucking 5 gigs or 5 megabits per second. And I started looking around like, man, it's a lot of countries that 5 gigs per second. I mean, I keep saying 5 gigs. 5 megabits per second is trash to them. So a lot of it has to do with player base. One,
not fair enough.
I can sell more to Americans. It's a very heavily consumer-based country. So obviously, I have incentive to sell my game there because with that game, they'll probably buy some sort of merch. They'll probably buy my DLC. They're a little less likely to hack my product and use it. And the country has a lot more laws that benefit me as the intellectual property owner. So that's where some of those incentives come in, and we accommodate with servers. Our servers, it's really server location based, which let's say a West Coast player plays on an East Coast server.
That's right.
They have shit connection. It's not as bad as somebody who's trying to come in from a whole other country. But it's shit connection. So it's really server location, I think, has somewhat to do with it. But I mean, their player base just isn't the same, dog. Like when you got a player base like Japan where gaming culture is culture, you know what I mean? Like it's literally a culture.
True, sure.
Yeah, in all fairness, you got to think that just in the last 10 years, video games have really blown up in the United States.
Yeah. Well,
in the last 20 years, really, but in the last 10 years especially.
Yeah, Japan and Korea are like the leaders in that, I guess, category. I guess is the best way to put that, right?
And Dragon, I know you have Mexican friends just like I got Mexican friends who go back and forth to Mexico all the time. Availability hasn't always been there for those countries either.
True.
So you're talking about somebody who probably is just now, who their first system was an Xbox 360.
Yeah, my homeboy was telling me about the I think it was the PS4 when we were talking about it. To get one over there, like it meant
was a
something.
Fucking hassle. Or it had to come from somebody. You had to know somebody in the States to bring one back across for you.
Yeah, like
it'd be shit like that.
Yeah,
because I had friends who would go over there and sell product, but like gaming products and just different products that they couldn't get. Shit, I knew people who was selling secondhand shoes over there in Mexico because you couldn't get a pair of Jordans over there. So shit, if you had good condition secondhand shoes, you get more than what retail was here in America.
Yeah.
So
in India, they have a really bad problem about I say a problem, I guess, but like whatever, in their like little marketplaces, they have bootleg Pokemon games because they can't get they can't get official releases for them. The batteries inside them die within like 5 years because they're like shit. They're little bootleg games.
They're saying some of the OG cards are finally dying off. Finally. Like the
fucking finally. Doesn't surprise me.
Bro, that shit lasted a hot minute. Like we knock it now, but that was some good tech though, because for that shit just to now, like people starting to lose their save files from when they was fucking, like for me it would have been like 9 years old. Bro, that's a long fucking time. And we always knock that tech, and it's like shit. That lasts longer than some of these motherfucking CDs, bro.
Like, I was about to say, let's be honest now. Shit, we know there's a bunch of old tech that we would love. I ain't gonna lie, if game cartridges still were a thing, I would love to have game cartridges back. Like when we switched over. No, I'm just saying, like when we switched over to discs and DVDs, man, get a scratch on your game and be sick. Be playing that bitch, and that motherfucker hit that little scratch point and do something weird.
Bitches freeze
and you
up.
Can't get past it, bruh. Oh my goodness.
The eternal loop of doom. Yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong. That's where Blockbuster came in handy. But
rest in peace. Rest in peace to the Simpsons hit and run.
Right, we gotta swap that out. It's time to swap it out, baby.
So
it's kind of like both of ours, but I'm gonna keep your copy at my house. You can have my copy, buddy.
So for those uninitiated, what he's talking about is when
kind of like both ours.
That's so wrong, dude.
When you bought
it's like doing that shit to Netflix back when it first came out too.
Yeah.
So
we've been on that, Jack.
You would get a game, accidentally scratch your game, and then you would just go down to the local Blockbuster, which for those that don't know is a rental store. Take out that same copy of the game that's usually pristine condition, and then just put your shitty disc in there and keep their good ones. Because when they get theirs back, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this asshole scratched our game." Because you can resurface them like 2 or 3 times.
Yes, sir.
And they would resurface it because if you paid for it to get resurfaced, it was expensive.
Yes, sir.
So you're just
it wasn't always guaranteed that it was gonna fix it.
No, especially if man.
So as long as you did nothing to it, then that was your best bet. Don't try to do anything. Fuck it, clean it off. Try to get it somewhat into a working condition.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I'm gonna tell you all the tips and tricks. What you do is you go in, take it home, immediately take that bitch back. Man, hey, this shit wasn't working. I got the level whatever, and that motherfucker cut off. This shit ain't working, bro.
He's not wrong neither.
And then you show him the scratch. Like, bro, I don't know when, where, how. But the person who had it before me must have did this shit.
And it's like, yeah. And then they always hit you with the, well, we had so-and-so spin. Well, they ain't do a good job.
Yeah.
They was trying to get home that night whenever Frank brought this back, I guess.
Exactly.
Motherfucker. Because they can't prove that shit. So they got
to... But then you just had to play it up like, now I'm going to check all my games from now on.
See if
right here in y'all face. Yeah, you got to be a little disgruntled. But, man, that was the hustle because of fucking bullshit-ass discs.
True. So, okay, since we on this nostalgia kick, how often... Okay, because I know, especially me in life, we had the older systems that were like cartridge-based, right? How often did you have cartridges give up on you that you can remember, like the actual game cartridge?
To be real with you, almost never. And I'm gonna take
I have never had a cartridge give up on me unless I fucking just destroyed it by my own volition. Mm-hmm. Cartridges are the fucking truth, dude.
I will say that I had issues with the systems at some point reading the cartridge.
Yep.
I don't know.
The system reading the cartridge. But it was mostly Nintendo. I mean, well, that was what was available at the time. But the first Nintendo was the one that really had the most issue reading cartridge.
Yeah.
But you had to have your little tips and tricks. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. smacking around, blowing it.
Put it on the edge of the motherfucking Nintendo, the first NES, and just kind of like let it rub up against the front edge of the fucking thing as you push it down. For whatever reason, that shit used to work, Jack.
You ever get yours to the point where you had to put the second cartridge in it to make it work?
Yeah. Oh, you put a cartridge in to get it going.
Yeah.
And then you swap it out. Yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. No, we did everything, bro.
So that you create a fucking hellscape.
Yeah. From like your power supply overheating, so you stick that bitch in the freezer for a little bit, so you can get back on ASAP. Shit, we've done a little bit of everything, bruh.
So for the uninitiated that never got to play the older systems, a lot of these games didn't have save files, progress, nothing.
Oh man.
What is the longest and hottest you ever got one of your systems? I'm telling you, I could damn near cook an egg on one of mine. It was like 2 or 3 days staying on.
Say, bro. I grew up with an older brother and a cousin that used to stay with me. So we all sharing one Nintendo.
That bitch cooking.
And none of we all gamers. So we all taking turns and we staying up all night, bro. So we was at we stayed at my cousin's house one night. And we was probably up to about 3-4 in the morning, and the Nintendo just stopped working, bro. We about shit a brick, bro. Cause we thought it was over. And then we felt that plug. Oh my God. Cause you know, you start running through all the, okay, I've had this happen before. It's just the game tripping. If I do the rub shit, it's gonna work. Boom, that don't work.
That don't work.
All right, fuck that. Put the game in the freezer. Maybe the game is, cause you know, when I pulled the cartridges out, that motherfucker was on fire.
Blowing it, baby.
The motherfucker, yeah, we already hit the blow in it. We already hit the get a Q-tip, try to clean off the surface, try to clean off the router on the inside that you can't quite see, but just jam that Q-tip in there and swipe around.
Just swipe, bitch.
Hell yeah.
How many Q-tips you think got lost?
No fucking memory card.
Oh man. And then on top of that, you know, then you get to, okay, well shit, maybe there's something wrong with the system because you praying because you don't want your ass whooped at this point.
Oh no.
Because at this point you've hit all your checks and the system just is seeming like it's broken. And then you get to the plug because at that point I'm like, well, pack this bitch up. We getting our asses whooped in the morning. Oh shit, the plug is on fire. Like you sit that bitch on the carpet and you gonna burn a hole in the carpet.
Is it like a carpet black?
Like,
carpet black.
Yeah. The plug is scorching hot, bruh.
Toasted. It's got fucking crispy underneath the fucking console.
Hey, no lie, we fucked around and did that on accident. We had the Nintendo on the floor, right? And my room had we had the shorter carpet, right? In the bedroom. And bro, my uncle left it on for like 2 days because he's trying to beat one of the Mario levels. I think it was like Super Mario 2. And he had left the bitch on. And then nobody touched it because uncle beat your ass. Right? Because he'd been playing the fuck out of it.
And I can tell you what game we was playing, bro. This was so crazy. We was playing RC Pro-Am. And if you ever watch almost like the trailers to the games, they would show you a specific type of car. It took you forever to get to this car. So the only way to get to the car was to continue to play. So we really are just passing the stick to whoever could beat the race at that point so we can get to the specific type of car because it's a faster, doper looking car.
Yeah.
Man, that motherfucker overheated and we was all just looking like big dummies because, again, there's no save.
Not
So... starting all the way back over just made you be like, man, this is some bullshit, but I'm here for it.
Yep. Because I'm telling you right now, like when we turned that bitch off and I moved it because like I had to clean or something, bro, the carpet was crispy, bro. It had the little crispy ends on it.
Yeah. I thought the motherfucker being a little stiff. Yeah, you feel that ass whooping coming on.
Oh, you better believe.
And don't get me wrong, kids.
It wasn't me.
Back then, ass whoopings were legal. We had just gotten past the stage of motherfucking getting your ass whooped in school by teachers. That shit had just become illegal.
In some places. In some places.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I was in Pittsburgh at the time, Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
so
Texas that still took about 2,000.
Damn, that's crazy.
And it was sketch even then. Like, you could beat that motherfucker ass. We don't care.
But yeah, man,
it really was like that too.
So when we say we got our ass, well, don't take it as it was abuse. Yeah. It was just discipline. It was what we call discipline back then.
Yeah. Needs to still be to this day to some degree.
Yeah, because some of y'all kids need y'all asses whooped. I be seeing y'all in the stores and I be like, bruh, I can help you.
Let me.
You call it bullying, I call it natural selection.
Yeah, but no. It was definitely a different time. Like, yeah, I remember the OG PlayStation with the memory cards. Was it like 8 megabytes of memory?
8 megabytes, bro. And then the aftermarket ones that was super chunky with the 16. Yeah. Like it came out a little bit, so it was like the normal slot, but then it just puffed up like a goddamn marshmallow.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. So them bitches was like 16 gigs. And you still couldn't really save much of nothing on them shits. Okay, so how many Game Sharks or Game Genies did you own? Yeah, I had tons of memory cards. So the Game Shark and Game Genie, I was never like I didn't like to cheat. I didn't like to skip levels. I like to play my games. So that shit never really appealed to me. Like I would see it in magazines and shit. Because back then, you know, that's how we got our information.
Yeah.
Was the gamer magazines.
Or word of mouth at a game store.
Yeah, that too. But that shit just was like, why would I play Mega Man and skip to level 13? Like, so it never really was like my thing, but I never owned them.
I had I think it was a Game
Shark. On a Sega CD, boy, that was the stupidest purchase ever.
I had a Game Shark for my PlayStation. It was either it was a Game Shark. Yeah. That was given to me. I did not purchase that. I'm trying to remember who gave it to me. A friend of mine had it. The reason he gave it to me is because at the time I had known, right? Because my cousin owned a Game Genie, I think, for not the PlayStation, GameCube, or not the GameCube, Game Boy. Fuck, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
So this is why I can't play certain games very well, because I dealt with the cheater. This motherfucker. Like,
I had an action replay on the DS for a little bit.
There you go.
Damn.
I heard it's the same type of thing.
Yeah. So he had that shit. And he would always like Pokemon was one of the big games we played, right? Yeah, so I tried to battle this motherfucker.
We used to be on that shit, yeah. Oh, and he had everything.
This motherfucker had Mewtwo that had every move, my
G. Yeah, buddy.
If you played the OG goddamn Pokemon games, there were certain Pokemon that were broken. Number one, just right out the gate.
And there's no patch coming to save your ass either.
So
that was the other thing. Remember Oddjob and fucking in GoldenEye? Fucking character.
Fucking GoldenEye is like short ass. You can't fucking shoot him because he's too short.
Yep.
Shit like that was like perma me dealing with, because this fool had all the cheat devices for all the systems. So
he had everything that his heart desired can be obtained through the Game Genie.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of times when I played this motherfucker, it wasn't that he was better than me. It's just this motherfucker was using all the bullshit. But at the same time, like I said, I played against him, religiously, right? And I went down there. I think it was one Christmas. I went down there. He was butt hurt. In fact, he gave me that one. I had yellow. I had Pokemon Yellow, and I was going down there, and that boy, I grinded my ass off. Got down there.
I remember Red used to be like the one.
Yeah, this fool gave me his blue cartridge and said, "You can have it." And I'm like, "This has all your shit on it." And he's like, "Not anymore." This motherfucker corrupted his shit. He cheated so much.
Damn.
That's when I learned that you could corrupt your shit.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because you're going in and basically it was allowing you access to the game code so you can get what you need to get and bypass what you need to bypass. But
I learned at an early age.
That's fucking crazy.
I learned at a very early age. It happened to me twice. I can't. It was like, dude, the old systems had so many games that I can't remember the name of because they weren't great games, but they were fun. There was some space game, right, that I played, and like, I can't even remember why I bought it. I think I like played a demo of it or some shit. You remember you used to get the demo disc out of magazines?
Yes, sir.
I played a demo. Got the motherfucking game at some point. I can't remember how I got it.
That shit was cheeks.
I might have stole it. I don't know. Anyways,
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't great, but it was stupid fun. You know, yeah. It was kind of like GTA. You know, once you find the cheat codes, you end up playing with the cheat codes more than you actually do the actual game sometimes. Anyways, I got that shit and I was using one of the cheats for like I think it was like some of the ships were like really hard to get, but if you didn't get them, like you're just gonna get your ass whooped because it's like a space shooter game, right?
Yeah.
So I used it to get like a lot of the cool ships so I could go fight, you know, in like the really tough areas or whatever. Bro, tell me why I kicked out my shit one day and it told me I had nothing. Nada. Not even a game save file. Well, I wanted to cry.
Be the word, man. Lose all your shit.
All your
cheating shit. So I do want to ask this question. Call of Duty. We all know it has a cheating problem. Can it outlast the cheating problem? Can it can it continue to just look the other way as the cheats exist?
I mean, it seems to be.
Like, is it too big to fail at this point?
It's one of those things where people just don't care and they're going to keep doing it. And people are going to keep playing it. Because you remember PUBG had that issue for a while and it damn near killed the game because, like, it wasn't...
Yeah.
It was more of a niche fan base that played it, right? Right.
Yeah, that's my point.
Call of Duty has the hardcore fan base that it's like everybody talk about Modern Warfare 2 like it's the greatest game since crack cocaine, and it's like, nah, bro, like this game was so fucking broken.
But I remember what it took for PUBG to kind of stomp out the cheating. Like literally, they had to get to the point where they were banning graphics cards. They had to, they built in a whole reporting system, a whole recording system, just to monitor the games because cheating was so prevalent. It was so rampant in the game.
It was bad. Like no shit. It was so fucking bad.
And to me, Call of Duty is there. Like the same cheats as PUBG, but it doesn't seem like they have the scrutiny of PUBG. It doesn't seem like they are really losing any customers based on it. It still streams strong. It still is, I guess, an enjoyable experience for most customers in the player base, even with all the meta issues.
That's the issue.
So I'm curious, is it just too big to fail? And so they don't have to worry about correcting these things? Because they drag their feet on specifically fixing the cheating. I understand why they drag their feet on the meta shit. I
won't say that they're too big to fail on the cheating thing. Is I think that they did little ban waves, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they low key tell you they're working on it, but you know damn well that they're not. And do I think it's gonna like kill it? No. There's a lot of issues with like League of Legends, right? The community and like the way people do shit in there is the trolling and like how toxic it is. Like people will literally pull a Rocket League, like they won't quit the game always. They'll just sit there and feed the other team so you lose.
Yeah.
Now the problem with League of Legends is that it's free to play, so they just go make a new account, and that game's still going strong. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, but that's not cheating though. That's just shitty player base.
I mean, when the handful of times there are glitches and people cheating, they have a tendency of like nipping it in the ass pretty quick. But
not Call of Duty.
Yeah,
that's my
like
point.
I said, League of Legends, like they handled the cheating issue, and it's like the toxicity existed, and it's like, which one? You know what I mean? It's like supposedly they're fixing the because like the anti-cheat stuff, like that's a built-in thing. Like a lot of the times, like if you get caught doing it, it's like just an instant ban. Like again, like they're gonna go make a new account, nobody cares. One of the most famous streamers, like, is they joke about him being converted from one of the most toxic players and like whatever. Like he wasn't a cheater, but like he got banned for being toxic, and
which shouldn't be bannable. But
to a degree, like when you're just causing your team to run it down just because you're throwing a tantrum and like you're causing your team to lose on purpose.
Oh yeah, that type of toxic. Yes.
Yeah, he was that type of toxic. I mean, he talked some cash shit, like, but he would literally just take a character and just start going down mid lane and just feeding other team. It's like, bruh, you an asshole.
No, you a whole bitch for that.
But supposedly he's reformed, right? Anyways, he came back a little ways later under a different tag, and like they let him make it. There's just certain things that you can't get around.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's gonna kill. It's like if the fan base is like a lower in game, like something like PUBG, because it wasn't as big at the time.
Yeah, it wasn't on consoles. It wasn't.
Yeah.
The player base is much smaller on PUBG. The player base was confined to computers. It was a new and up and comer trying to develop.
Yeah, and
for them getting cheaters out of the game, because the player experience is everything, and this was already a game that played slow. So if you are playing for an hour only to encounter a fucking cheater,
you mad.
Then you're pissed, and that's a terrible experience that you never want to come back to. Mm-hmm. So that's to me, that's where Call of Duty has its advantages. There's other game modes. The other game modes, people, it doesn't seem as though people are cheating, and if they are, they're shitty cheaters, because my KD be right there with theirs most of the time.
True story.
But I mean, they have other game modes. They're not even really known for the battle royale. They're just jumping in the battle royale because it was popping.
Yeah.
And that shit is working for them. And it's selling merch and it's selling, skins and all that other shit.
That's why I don't think it's gonna affect it. Nor do I think will they actually do anything relevant to fix it, because it's not doing anything to their overhead to the point where like they're like, oh, we're losing people because of the cheaters. Like,
shit, I'm pretty sure for everyone that's left because of cheating, you probably replaced with about 3 to 4 more people who would just be like, man, I ain't played games in a minute. I used to be good at Call of Duty. Fuck it, let me jump on here and join with some friends.
Pretty fucking much. But and that's where like your lower end games suffer more, because like I said, how long had PUBG been out before we really started seeing it getting pushed hard?
Man, it probably been out about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, is what it felt like.
Yeah, because we had played it for a hot minute with like.
Yeah, it was out before we actually got in on it. So, and we even though we were pretty early, we were early.
Mm-hmm. So we still got early access.
Yeah, and shit, and that was shit when they still had test servers up and running. They were still actually testing a lot of shit. It was really a test game. But and that's what the devs were hella active at that point too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. To me, like, it's starting to kill off the battle royale genre to me, because it's one life to live, and Call of Duty does it a little better than most, because you got, and the only reason I say that is because you got your built-in weapon set, you got the ability to bring people back, there's just a bunch of different things, and there's familiarity, because for multiple years people have played Call of Duty.
See, I don't.
So I know how base Call of Duty performs. I know gun pattern, how the guns shoot. I know how all these little different things operate. And if I don't know, I know how to figure it out very simply, because I've been doing it for years on other CODs. But go ahead, say what you were gonna say.
The only thing I don't like about COD, one of my big detractions for the battle royale at least, is the having your setup class thing. Other than that, I agree with you. A lot of it is done a lot better in a lot of ways. For me, it's just it puts more of an emphasis on trying to do one thing. It's not necessarily bad, but like I don't like having to go hunt down crates just so I can have my guns, right? Like that's the beauty of that's why I liked PUBG, because like the K98 was a nice gun in that game. Don't get me fucking wrong, but in that game, if I could have what was one of the better guns in there that we'd use a lot? It was one of those assault rifles. Like, if I could pick that one over a K98, I pick it almost every time. Even though I'm nice with the K98 in PUBG.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? But it forced me to get good with the K98 and understand why it was a good weapon in that game. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known, because, you know, the RNG aspect.
The game forced you to be good with almost every gun that was on the ground, because you never knew what exactly you were going to get. And you get no time to really practice with them. For Call of Duty, the entry point is a lot lower because, one, you got a bunch of people who if I buy this game, if I actually purchase the game, then I can go into the multiplayer mode and get used to how the guns shoot. I can, you know what I mean? I can rip and run. And then once I finally feel comfortable, I can jump out in Battle Royale. And my user experience is similar, if not the same.
Yeah.
Just a different style of game. Think Search and Destroy now.
Pretty much.
Think, those type of single One Life to Live type of game modes that exist, but they're I don't even know what the fuck to say. They are activity based, I think is the best way of saying it, where you have to complete a specific task, so you got to be at a certain point so it drives the action.
Yeah,
that's kind of what Battle Royale is doing.
Like a mini game.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, like Search and Destroy, you literally have to search and destroy, capture the flag type of shit, where you have to go. There's a certain point that you have to get to, and there's a certain point you have to return to. So as long as
like game modes, then
yeah. It's basically, I have one life to live, but I have to get out there and I got to sacrifice my life if I want to win.
Yeah.
And that's what Battle Royale is, because of the way the circle shrinks. But you can get that familiarity of playing the game through other game modes. So it's the entry point to me between Call of Duty and PUBG is just way greater. Yeah. And that's why I find it so much harder for it to fail, because there's so many other things that you can do. For anybody who hates Battle Royale, there's multiplayer. For anybody who hates Team Deathmatch, there's activity-based games such as Capture the Flag, there's Search and Destroy, there's, you know what I mean? Like, so it allows you to test everything that the game had to offer. With PUBG, it was kind of like, dog, the only time I really get to play with a gun is right before the match. Mm-hmm. And there's 100 other motherfuckers trying to get to those same guns on those same tables and let them shits ring off.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. To me, PUBG was definitely a better game from the RNG aspect of it, and the fact that nobody would have the same weapon loadout every single time. So it forced you to become efficient with everything, but it had its flaws, like motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm not saying it didn't. I just preferred, like I said, for me, it was the competitive nature felt better, right?
Somewhat.
Because a lot of times, there's a lot of times. I feel
like a lot of the players were better skilled, higher skilled players.
Mm-hmm.
But I also felt like, because of the size of the map, if you didn't go to a popping area, you might not see activity until 20 minutes into the game.
True. That was one of the biggest issues with it. But again, like, I think back to PUBG, and like, I wanted to keep running those long ass matches and grind it out more than I can ever say I have in COD. So when I die in PUBG, most of the time, unless they found a way to get the drop on me, most of the time I died by a more skilled player. Like that's just there's no getting around it. Like I get into a gunfight, he smokes me, and I'm like, damn, that motherfucker good, right? Like he good. In COD, it's like, oh, he had the laser beam. Shit, there's nothing I could do. Literally nothing.
Laser beam and a higher ping.
It's like this motherfucker. He has the meta weapons, and just because I don't like that gun, for XYZ reason, right? Yep. I just got fucking scraped. It's like I don't like saying that.
I would love Call of Duty to come out with Battle Royale hard mode. Like where they turn off the fucking radar, they take away all the perks, flashbangs and shit are just laying on the ground. Put in basically an RNG hard mode. Fair where enough. You get none of the perks. You play in PUBG just with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And that would be dope. And you don't get a motherfucking missile detection systems out the fucking game also. Because that's some bullshit. You motherfucker driving around in a vehicle. Well, now they've changed it. But at first, vehicles were difficult to destroy or get a motherfucker out of a vehicle in COD. Mm-hmm. Now, you could disable a vehicle almost with one clip. You could almost disable a vehicle faster than you could kill a person.
Fair enough. Now, like, I don't mind the perks so much. It's just the weapon classes, like having somebody going in there with like the guaranteed like killer class, right? That's what I don't like. Is like like when I played, it's still like it was the Graw that was just fucking. If you had that, it didn't matter what gun you had. If they had that, you just GG well played. Unless you're running the Graw, and or unless you got close quarters, and then you had was it like the MP7 at the time?
Yeah. But to me, that's their way of selling. That's their marketing scheme. Basically,
I see what it is.
We're gonna force you.
Yeah, I see what it is, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm not saying it's a bad strategy. I just don't like it
personally. At all. I think it's a bad strategy.
Because like I said, the perks and stuff like that, I don't mind so much. Like if you told me I couldn't pick certain guns and have them like, that's the thing. Like having a fully kitted gun and all I got to do is just go fight somebody at a loadout and win. It's like, yeah, if I'm more skilled than them, then 90% of the time that's the outcome, right? Like I've just increased my chances of winning tenfold by one fight. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's what a battle royale is. It's just like there's a lot of RNG, and that's what made PUBG fun for me is the RNG aspect, right? So like, let's say I got fucked by RNG. Okay, yep. I can still win by being a better player and being smarter than said guy.
Yep. I'm gonna use the house's cover. I'll jump through a window, shoot him a few times, get back around him. Mm-hmm. Motherfucker can't put on the vest because the load time for vest was nice and long. Like it was a very balanced game. Man, I might have to load up PUBG.
You remember the game we came in third place because I crawled through a field for like 10 minutes?
Bruh, I remember that shit. I remember being that was one of the craziest parts about that game. The grass would be just tall enough that you could crawl through the field and you couldn't be quite seen unless they were at a decent, like a higher elevation. Mm-hmm. So like if they were in a window, they could see you. But if they were walking through that grass for whatever reason, they could not see you. And specifically, shit, if they were laying down in the same grass, they could not see you.
Couldn't see a motherfucker thing.
It was many a times me, you, and Terry be crawling down a hill with a motherfucker lower than us who couldn't see us. So shit, I think we won a couple of games that way.
The game I'm referencing, I think it was just me and you, and life got clipped, and it was like a edge circle fight, and it was just it was a fight we didn't want. We had got RNG'd pretty hard, and I was low on ammo. I didn't have much going on for me. I'm like, bro, I'm just crawling it through this field. Fuck it. I got to find something. And sure enough,
I know exactly where we were at, too. We were close to the shooting range in the first map of PUBG. Mm-hmm. There's a hill. As you leave it, and you kind of go up that hill. And when you get to the top of the hill, there's a flat piece, and there's a house. And we were outside of that house. And I think coming up the hill, I got shot. Your ass dropped down into the grass, and they couldn't find you. Mm-mm. If I'm remembering it correctly. And that's how you scrambled through the whole rest of that shit. Them motherfuckers looking for you led to some other motherfuckers shooting them, and it triggered a fucking echo chamber of, oh, spot him, got him, spot him, got him, spot him, got him, and it just became everybody started exposing themselves, and then it got down to the last three, and motherfuckers start hurling grenades and dragging. A motherfucker hurled a grenade at Dragon, and he was forced to move, so he had to get his ass up and got gunned down.
Yeah, it was definitely a game that involved, like, you could run and gun in PUBG. You could. It just was not advised because,
you better be good at it. If you're gonna run a gun, you better be really fucking good.
Yeah, because not every gun had a fucking silencer. Not every gun was good at certain ranges. So, like, if you're out there just loudmouth and acting a fool, you got the attention of anybody in a certain radius, and they're coming for that ass.
Oh yeah.
Because you knew the gun sounds, like if they heard a car crack, if they heard the SKS popping, they're like, I want that gun, and I'm gonna get that gun.
Oh my god, yeah, hunting for people with specific guns was a thing. Getting a Car 98, that was a thing. The SKS was also a beast. That was like the second tier of sniper rifles at the time in PUB. But oh man, getting that Car 98 and motherfucking knocking wigs off was so satisfying in that game.
The time I cracked that fool in the car going down the street and the car just rolled up on you, nobody was in it.
Bruh. Or shit, running around through the motherfucking fields with a motherfucking frying pan on your ass, and you hear that ping, and you know, oh shit, they really is shooting at me.
Duck and cover.
That shit was the man. That shit had so many fucking little things that were so dope about it, and the fact that they called the winner chicken dinner, bruh. Winner chicken dinner, bruh.
That's the shit.
You want that chicken dinner?
That's what I'm like. We won quite a few games in COD.
Oh yeah.
Right? I barely remember a lot of the crazy shit in COD. In PUBG, I could tell you probably story after story of the dumb shit that happened. Countless
That's
stories.
why we have way more. The reason is because you have one life to live. It's the same way. That's the reason we have so many stories of Rainbow Six.
True.
You really only had one life in Rainbow Six. So it was survival mode.
True, but like I said, with COD, like all the victories that we got during the battle royale, like I still don't remember a good chunk of them. I remember a lot of the dumb shit
because we would win so frequently. But I remember like when we did MLG and shit like that.
Oh yeah. Like that, but that was different because, like I said, it was one of those like it had higher stakes, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, with
hold up. Was you there for this? When Bigsby hit the by the rock by the motherfucker giving out directions, motherfucker said, "Hey, it's a person out there by the rock by the but he got stuck in his mind and just kept saying by the rock by the by the rock by the by the rock by the man, the whole fucking room busted out laughing. Like, bitch, if you don't spit that shit out, he by the rock by the what, motherfucker?
There's something over there, but
it's a map filled with rocks by the
That sounds like some Bigsby shit. Not going front.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious though. In the moment, that shit was just hilarious because he was getting smacked, and he wanted somebody to come get this motherfucker.
He hit you with the hat.
Bruh, yeah. Basically, he was sending out the SOS. You know how you get clipped 3 times by the same motherfucker? Now I gotta rain hell on you. I gotta bring everybody over here. Somebody look at this. Like,
get this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there was each one had its whatever, but like I said, there was something about PUBG and like it wasn't even. It's like there's a lot that we played. Like I never felt it in Apex. I never felt it in in Warzone, you know, like when we're out there. It just I think it was because in PUBG, like
it was new.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna it was a whole new game style to us.
Well but hot dropping, like we would do it, but we didn't like to do it because it's like we could do this and then be back in the lobby in 10 minutes
bruh, the worst.
We can try to get
play
this
smart and we can go to a slightly less populated area and get decent weapons, and you're gonna have to fight 1 or 2 fights. You go to school, you gotta fight. You had to fight probably about 4 teams worth of people.
And it's not over
about 16 people. Yeah, and that's just the people inside the school. Then you got all the people who know that there's gonna be all of this chaos occurring, so they get weapons and they just guard the perimeter. Mm-hmm. They would do that for prison. They would do that for school. Mm-hmm. So it was one of those things where it was like, man, this shit ain't worth it. Even if I come out of the fucking king of the school, then I gotta watch every direction because I've overstayed my welcome and they've had time to set up position. And I gotta move to circle now. And they're potentially out in front of me and I'm forced to them.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of times we would drop across the river at those apartment complexes.
Yeah, the apartment complexes. Yep.
No matter where the circle was. Too hot. No matter where the circles were, we're still going.
I blame the pterodactyl for that one, Jack.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Fucker would have us out there doing dumb shit, not paying attention. Next thing you know, the goddamn circle is bleeding us out. Like, oh man, we just looted for goddamn 15 minutes.
You're fucking taking damage, and you're like, what the fuck?
Exactly. And there wasn't at that time there wasn't a lot of medicine on the map.
No.
So you might have like 3 bandages out of a car full of people. Mm-hmm. Like, so that was just it was just another element to the game. But man, that shit was fun.
Hella fun.
The little buggy and shit. Oh man.
I think that's one of the things that made it fun was you remember like in there you had to go find the armor, right? Like the good armor. Yeah.
Like and you could run out of gas. Your vehicle ran out of gas.
Mm-hmm. Like that they made a almost like a survival shooter the way it should be done, right? Like you're
That's what I was hoping Scum would be. I was hoping Scum would be like the upgraded version.
Yeah, because
it didn't come out that way.
If you didn't get, because
like not even close.
Level 3 anything was hard to find, and if you see somebody with the helmet on, you're just like, well, shit, he needs to die, but can I kill him? Because I want his
That's
shit.
True. No, can I kill him and not damage that helmet too badly? That was the major key.
That was also key.
Cause I want that fucking level 3 helmet, bitch. You gonna come up off of that. I don't know. You might get on a level 3 vest, but I don't know that until you motherfucking drop that shit. I can visually see that level 3 helmet, and I want it, bitch. You gonna come up off of that. We gonna shoot you. We gonna gun you down, and and pray that we don't damage this helmet.
Pretty fucking much, man. Oh, that shit was that was some good times. I've thought about it. I've thought about downloading PUBG a couple times now, just so I could.
Yeah, Merle always tell me he gets on it. I was like, man, I used to play that shit religiously, bro.
And Merle be fucking with it. Well, shit.
Yeah, he still gets on.
We may be in business.
Yeah, buddy. What just happened?
You say, yeah, that's definitely one of the games like it's just. Out there smacking folks is some of the funnest shit. Like I said, I like Warzone enough. I don't get the same feeling. Like, you know, it's like, okay, we're going after the crack. Okay, we're blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, I feel like it's more of, I have objectives that I'm not happy about having that I've got to go facilitate.
Yeah.
In that, and I can't really strategize to the level I want where I feel like I'm comfortable, right?
Yeah.
In PUBG, I could do things that would make the outcomes better. And COD, like we'll try to do stuff that we did in goddamn PUBG, and then we'll get fucking scraped for it, like, you know, dropping away from the chaos, right? And we're like, we should be pretty safe. But some dude in a buggy traveled across the whole fucking map and you never heard him. Because that's one thing I think about that game I don't like is the vehicles were hella quiet unless they were real close. In PUBG, if you were in a vehicle, you heard it halfway across the fucking map.
That's a fact. Bruh, that's a fact.
Like, somebody getting a Jeep, it's like, where that Jeep at? And is it coming towards us? And COD, it's like, motherfucker.
You really didn't want to get caught in vehicles too much because you would get fucked up. Bro. I mean, they fixed that now on COD where, I mean, it's really only the biggest truck that you can't really get touched in, but that's only it's a one-seater truck. So remember when they added the vans to Mexico? Bro, that shit was the worst shit ever.
You did not want to be in the van. It couldn't go uphill.
Yeah, I was about to say it struggled uphill in fucking hilly ass Mexico map. Like that map was 90% hills, and you get the one vehicle that struggles to go up hills. Be like, bro, come on, man. You go downhill, you doing a good 60. You go up here, man. You slow down to 10 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. So you better hope there's nobody in the city as you drive through it, because they're about to wet that van up. You about to lose your life. Like that's how I be feeling. Like, man.
Isn't that where they brought in the motorcycles? Is the Mexico map?
Yeah. Did they bring in motorcycles? It might have been.
See, I can remember, like, we thought that was cool because you could zip around on them.
No, they had motorcycles. They had motorcycles on the first map too. Motorcycles were there.
Yeah, getting caught on them's not fun.
Nah, hell nah. Oh man, but you hit a mega jump and die? Oh my god, that shit would be fun. It'd be funny. Like,
yeah. Don't say it was fun, but it was fucking hilarious. Watch this motherfucker zip into outer space and be like, bro, what happened?
Bruh. That shit used to be the truth, though. No, that was a good ass game. Mm-hmm. And they had the Bronco and shit on the other Mexico map. Mm-hmm. So I mean that shit was the truth. But I can't even remember where we started on this. But now that we've talked so much about PUBG, I think I'm gonna update my shit.
I might be with you on this one. I might be with you. Shit. Oh man. Bruh, Andrew, you gotta get your shit together, bro. We need a bullet catcher.
Yeah, man, always and forever.
I'm pretty sure Merle will facilitate a little bit of that, but all right. Anyways,
at this point, we might be Merle's bullet catchers. Goddamn it,
you ain't wrong.
I'm fucking sick of it.
Hey, as long as you can call out where you get hit from, that's all we care about.
That's it. That's all I need is the intel. Where does the bullets come from?
Do what?
So all I need to know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, to get off of that a little bit, but to stay into like the nostalgia of things, did you two see the video I posted in the notes?
I might not have. No.
So,
what did I miss?
Perhaps not actually.
I'll talk it up a little bit here real quick. Both of y'all hop into the notes channel. Check that out real fast because I want your reaction on it. It's not official. It's a video that was fan made from a Russian company, full CGI. But it's a quote unquote remastered Underground 2 trailer that they put together, and it looks fire as fuck. Made me wish that they would go back and bring back Need for Speed Underground. It's even kicking the song Riders of the Storm. It made me feel so fucking nostalgic. I had to post it in there. It's nothing news wise. It was cool. Wanted to share it. For those that are old gamer heads like us.
Just make your video diddling on.
Yeah. For those that are old game heads like us, the Underground series was one of the better Need for Speeds in my opinion. And
it was amazing.
They a Russian company basically did a CGI remaster, right?
They cleaned that shit all the way up.
It's not an official game or anything. It's just it's a clip. It's cool. It's just kind of like showing EA what the people want type of thing. Yeah. And
what we think it could be, what we would like to see it be.
Yeah. It looks
make
fire.
It happen.
I wish. That's what
Windows 11 is coming. Looking at us.
Yeah. But anyways, speaking on that, you also saw that in the notes that I showed that they put a thing out that basically shows all the chips and things that will run Windows 11.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm in good standing. I ain't got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, me too. But
cool. yeah, I saw that.
I thought it was funny. It took them a hot minute to put something out like that. But it's kind of, that's how shit goes.
Factory.
Oh
man, but if you currently have a bootleg Windows or some bullshit running, man, go to CD Key, get you a $10 copy of Windows, get your shit updated, and then get the free copy of fucking Windows 11 with that. Shit, get your shit together.
Yep.
Pro tip.
What he said.
CD Keys. They definitely got the legit shit.
Yes, they do. So,
I'm gonna need y'all to quit calling me out.
And that's not a that's not an endorsement. It's just, I've used the product. I've enjoyed it. I want to put y'all
on. Yeah, those are two of the smaller things that I had that I found throughout the week that were just I thought were interesting. Like I said, I think for me in life, we're safe on the Windows 11 thing. I don't know where Android's at on his computer. I mean, it don't work right now, so we're not sure.
Well, I did want to build I need to actually check to see about the i5 that I have, because I did at some point want to build a second computer to stream with.
Yeah.
Once I get my 3080. Or shit, by the time I get a graphics card, it fucking around to be a 4080.
True story. Yeah, like I said, there hadn't been a whole lot, but those two little things were pretty cool. Like I said, the trailer's nice as fuck. I think it's cool. Definitely brought back some good memories, some bad memories. Played that game way too much. There's the bad memories.
Played a lot of this game.
Fucking. The only other major talking point I had was I showed Android some of it last night. Was Magic the Gathering brought out their D&D set on Magic the Gathering Arena. So for the uber nerds, yay. For the regular person, it's nothing. It's fucking cool. That's all I can say about it. It's fucking cool. I might end up playing quite a bit more. It brought a couple new dynamics to the game. I don't think it's anything that's I would say
earth-shattering.
Yeah. But it's some pretty cool little dynamics that they brought. If anything, it's one of the things I love about Magic. They're always willing to try new things in their game, to keep it spiced up, and some of it looks kind of cool, and it should definitely be entertaining to see what people do with them. It's a newer set, so with it only being out a couple days, I didn't get anything
bound to be broken.
Yeah. There's a couple things that look pretty cool that could possibly, but it just really depends how does it flow with some of the other shit from the last sets. And I went and looked on some of the sites where you can pull the deck lists. So a lot of people will do competitive play. They'll do the deck list, and then you can go import it into Magic Gathering Arena, right? So I imported one so I could play it, just so I could have a competitive deck when I'm playing online. And nothing from the new set even has a win rate, right? It had only been out for 12 hours. And when I say win rate, you have to have X amount of games with the deck for it to have, where they put it in. It's not like everything. It's it's been played twice and it has 100%. No. This motherfucker's got to be played a handful of times before they put a win rate on it. On the site that I go to, at least. So I built a deck. Within the game, you open packs, like real life or whatever, and you can build your own decks. So each pack that you open usually has what's called a wild card. You can save up your wild cards and you can turn them into whatever card of said rarity. Of course, each rarity is more rare to get, of course, I've been really lucky on that front. I don't get a lot of the really cool cards from packs, like what'd be called meta cards, right? But I do get a ton of fucking wild cards. So I got on there and played a little bit last night. Like I said, I went to build a deck, and I was like, dude, I ain't played in so long. All my decks are outdated. So they have different my brain just died. Formats. There you go. Ha 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 ha. Each format is based on a certain amount of sets. So each set is like this new one is considered a set, right? Standard is the current 3 sets in rotation. So Forgotten Realms, whatever was right before it, and the one right before that are the 3 sets you can use for standard play. And then there's Extended, which does the most current 6. And I think they changed the name of it to Legacy, which is like quite a few sets, right? Like it's goes a lot more further back. I don't believe Arena supports Legacy, so you have to have like at least an extended deck. I had that, but not as many people play it because that's where you get like really broken dynamics, right? Because a lot of times what they do is they build or they put cards in rotation that are mostly for standard. They will explicitly say when they're building a set that has like extended or legacy play in mind. To kind of give you a heads up. It's super rare, but a lot of times when you get certain standard cards, if they have a certain dynamic that was maybe kind of prevalent 2 sets ago, if you're not careful, it can be real broken because like how would you say, like a failsafe you took for the 2 sets ago patch maybe not be the direction you went for this, you know. So a lot of times you can get stupid broken mechanics, and anytime you play Magic, Arena especially, when you load in and it's like current cards banned, right, and it'll show you what cards got pulled out. So when I loaded in, it was like this historic card got banned because I think you can play like historic, but I think you can only do it versus friends. Like it's not one of the ranked modes you can play. And it was like this historic card had been banned, and I was laughing because like I seen the card and I'm like, damn, I'm surprised they even brought something like that back. It was based on something that we'd seen before, which was it blue or blue and white? Basically, it lets the player have another turn. It's a card that basically gives you another turn, right? In certain decks, that shit's hella broken. Like, hella broken. Like, it sounds...
Carry it perfectly.
Yeah, like, if it sounds broken to begin with, it kind of is. That they're always expensive, so, like, there's a reason why you're running it. You're willing to pay that price. And for, like, what's called, like, a mill zombie deck, having another turn because you're throwing a lot of your deck into the graveyard. On that next turn, your next whatever played turn, all the shit you just threw in the graveyard and your opponent's like, haha, I have them now. And then they get another turn and they just throw all that shit onto the field and you're like, ha, this sucks. Shit like that. So it was the only one banned though. That's what I found interesting. I was like, damn, they only had one banned card out of this last cycle, but I've low-key kept up with it, but not like super heavily. So I don't know what's been getting popped a lot recently. So I don't know. I need to look more into it. Like I said, I haven't been keeping up with the lists a lot. I just knew that they were doing this D&D set, which had me kind of hyped to play it again. I heard rumors that they're doing Lord of the Rings and something else. Maybe it was just D&D and Lord of the Rings. But I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, you know, shit that's already known by a said, you know, niche of people, right? Like, you know, bringing stuff in to help make it appealing to those people. Kind of cool. But yeah, I just want to touch on that real fast. That's, again, some of the bigger news that I had. Nothing necessarily groundbreaking, but some interesting little cool things. Always a good time. Always a good time. I need to get Android on there and whoop his ass on it, son.
Yeah, I could really dig on a Lord of the Rings set. That would be way cool.
Like I said, I've heard him talk about it. I've yet to see anything come to like when it may be coming out. Again, I haven't looked super hard. I try not to because that's a rabbit hole. Sometimes I don't like staying in too long. Because if I start playing that shit, that's literally what starts happening. It's like fucking rabbit hole of doom. It's like I'm now playing this game for fucking the next 6 fucking months. for me, a lot of it's because the how do you say the strategies and shit that go into it um are very appealing for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
know how to market to you.
Yeah, it's a I don't know. It's just fun because it's a hell of a lot of strategies that you can play with, tinker with. Like I said, there's a competitive scene, and then there's like the casual where you just play against your friends and whoop their ass, which is still entertaining because that's where you really get to like explore Magic, I guess, because your friend might like playing some off meta deck that you don't ever really see that they just kind of threw together their own variation of, which is always fun.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of Magic is building my own like off meta decks, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about the meta or the competitive scene. I just like building cracked ass decks that I think are fun.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons I went ahead and built like one of the semi-meta decks out of a lot of my wild cards, because that's what I do with the wild cards a lot of the times is build like a meta deck so I can go play rank. Because you get pretty good rewards, and so you'll get like maybe a rare or mythic rare wild card, or it gives you a ton of free packs, or like their currency is like the in-game shit you can earn through playing. You get a ton of that, and then also like the gems is like the money to game currency, right? So you buy gems, and that's how you can unlock a lot of the cool stuff. And in ranked, if you place high enough, you get gems for free, right? It's just like, okay, I got to go grind. So I like to have a ranked deck for that, so I can go grind out gems and shit. Because that's how I get like a lot of the sleeves and stuff that I think look really cool. They're just basically aesthetics or stuff, but still, like having a beholder on the back of my card is cool. So fuck you. It's one of those uber nerdy things, but it's like if you've played D&D and shit, and then you play Magic, like having a beholder on the back of your deck is kind of like tongue in cheek funny. It's like I have a beholder, the thing that has multiple eyes. He's all shit. Ha ha ha.
It's like ha ha ha, nice.
Exactly. And they're like a lot of them are animated sleeves, right? So that they do cool little things. While it's sitting there. It's like I said, it's all aesthetics, but it's just cool. It's a little wrinkle in the game that I find awesome. Like one of them is one of the oldest cards that's been banned for fucking ever is the Black Lotus, and it just sits there and spins. Nothing outstanding or anything. Just a little lotus slowly spins, and it has like look flower particles coming up. It just looks cool. Aesthetically, it's just like that's cool, but it's fucking expensive, so I'm not gonna pay real money for it. I'll just fucking play the game too goddamn much.
Right.
But yeah, that's really all I had on that. My Magic grind's about to go up a little bit. Just a wee little bit. If I don't get caught up in
in the world of single player RPG games, Neo: The World Ends With You comes out at the end of this month on the 27th. It's it's kind of like a sister series to Kingdom Hearts, so
really
kinda. I say that loosely, but yeah, this is the second game. It's the sequel, and it is coming out later this month. And I played the demo on the PlayStation, and it's actually pretty sick.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's that.
As I heard nothing on it, so this is news to me. Does it kind of follow the? You good, G?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it kind of like in the same universe, I guess, as Kingdom Hearts? Is that what you consider?
Yeah, that's why it's kind of like a sister series. It's got the same director.
Oh, okay.
Right. The guy's name is Tetsuya Nomura, I believe. And he He directed both games in the 3DS title for Kingdom Hearts. It crosses over. So you get some of the characters from The World Ends With You in Kingdom Hearts, and that's where their series converge. And it's unclear exactly the relation between the two, but they're getting ready to clarify it here probably in the next main title series, or like next like Kingdom, quote unquote, Kingdom Hearts 4, right?
Okay.
So
you're
like,
getting like a whole new protagonist, just kind of similar world.
It's kind of unclear. It's kind of unclear what's going to be going on in Kingdom Hearts 4. We know that Sora may not be the
guy.
main protagonist, right? Like, you may still get to play as him, but he may not be the guy.
It's the guy,
right?
Yeah.
But it's Kingdom Hearts 3 was the end of what they called the Xehanort saga, right? So it's like putting a close to the main story up to this point, and kind of, or at least the main story arc anyway up to this point, and starting for the next like saga, I guess, whatever you want to call it.
No, I got you. I follow.
All right. Yeah.
I'd heard nothing on this, so that is interesting.
Yeah, if I'm being kind of vague, it's only because it's like Kingdom Hearts bullshit, you know what I mean? And there's like, you could sit and speculate forever how The World Ends With You ties into Kingdom Hearts, but it's really vague anyway, so I'm not gonna sit here and get off on a tangent about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Even though tangents is kind of what we do around here.
Big facts. Big facts.
That's hilarious.
That's not the damn truth. I don't know.
That's too funny.
So, last episode we spoke about playing Knockout City.
Yes, sir.
So, I was listening to a show that I listened to, and they were going over like a bunch of games and stuff, and they brought it up, and they're like, "Do you think this is another Flash in the Pan game?" What do you think, Life, after playing it?
After playing, it's got a bunch of room to grow. It's got a shitload of room to grow. But I feel like it could be a game. I feel like it could be a Rocket League. I really, truly feel like it could be a Rocket League.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of chaos to it, but there's a bunch of elements that I think if somebody took time and put out, and they may be on the internet already, but tutorials and strategies, and people will really get into that game. Mm-hmm. I still feel like it could be it's a super competitive game. It's fun to play. It does get a little bit frustrating sometimes, but as you learn to play the game and how different things work, you'll get better. There's there's skill up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a flash in the pan. I think it could really be something.
Fair enough. Andrew, how do you feel about it? What do you think?
I mean, like Life said, I think it definitely has room to grow, right? Like, it has shit about it that's irritating, but I think after they polish it up a little bit, it's kind of like he was saying, like, some of that shit, if once you start getting the hang of the mechanics a little bit, some of those power plays are just so satisfying to pull off, dude.
Oh man,
it just
bump
feels
a motherfucker
so
and hit
good.
him with the dodgeball. Ooh, love
exactly.
It.
Roll yourself up into a dodgeball and let your homie peg some dude, and yeah.
Or you throw the double dodgeball, so one's slow and one's quick, and a motherfucker get caught out bad because he can only catch one.
Mm-hmm.
Pow.
Yeah, and you out of there. And that's
power plays
for a little life to end.
That is like, an immediate just like shot of serotonin. Like it's so good. I think it definitely has potential.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think it has to be a flash in the pan, right? As long as
like
it's
handled right.
Continues right, as long as it's handled right, I think that a real community could come out of it.
Yep.
So there, you said the basically what the argument against it is that it is an EA game.
That's not my main criticism necessarily. I think
no. I'm not saying it's yours. I'm saying that like what few detractions I've heard about it is that exactly. It's like EA is not the best at cultivating things sometimes.
But I thought.
I don't disagree, but that just to me means that it's a blanket argument, meaning I haven't played the game and I probably won't.
I mean, fair.
It's true.
Just personally, that's what that means to me, you know.
To a degree, like I said, I like when I heard it, I was like, they just hating, and then I thought about it, and I was like, EA's gotten better about stuff, but it's like since it's not.
Since it's not top tier, it's not their flagship. It's not.
How much are they really going to put into it?
Look, I'm gonna be real with you. With the success of Fortnite, I think all developers are kind of forced to look at their cheapy games and find communities, find potential, and hope for success. Because they don't want to. Nobody really wants to develop new AAA titles because of cost. So if this is the market, you better find you a knockout punch. I mean, they've given us some shit, but
this is true.
I feel like as far as genre goes, I've never played a dodgeball game that I thought was fucking fun on any system.
Like it really gives you the thrill of playing real dodgeball, man. Like it really gets in it.
Was it volleyball or dodgeball? There was one way back in the day. It was like Nintendo or Super Nintendo. But like I said, it like you were playing as countries and shit. And I remember like if you were like the Chinese or something, or you were Asian, whatever, like you got this weird power up special ball that would do like weird shit. And it was like hella broken. And it was like, it was either China or Japan. And then because the Russians, like the China Japan one, like it did like a curve or something that made it really hard to deal with. And then
you'd start doing some Shaolin soccer ass shit.
Yeah, you basically. And then the other one was like Russia had one where it was like a super powerful one, like you couldn't do shit about it. Like it was just that. In fact, I want to say they were like the boss team because it was one of those broken things.
To me, what makes this a game that I feel like again is like Rocket League is. At the base, all the characters are the same. Even though you can customize them how you like them.
Yeah, man, it feels very fair. It feels very fair.
Yeah, you don't gain an advantage based off of a character. It's really you.
I mean, fair.
It's you, your strategy, and I mean their strategy even in getting the specialty balls, like and using those. Like it's a bunch of shit, passing it back and forth, which I still got to get used to. The fakes, the little training, it doesn't necessarily prepare you all the way for some of the moves you're about to see out there. And that's what's dope. Like it's got to get to a point where now I think it could even be doper where you could like, if you could use your teammates in like, find more ways to use your teammates. Let me just say it that way. Like boosts or
there's
if there's like plateaus or if there's different things that you can't get to, but you can do it as a team, that would be dope. Like they need to put more shit up high and force you to and put a team feature in that only a team can give you a boost type of shit. So there's a strategy in trying to get to that ball up there up on top of everything. And you also got to deal with the punishment that of basically trying to avoid the game and go after that motherfucking mega ball. I think when they start adding shit like that, that'll be fun too. But at this point, it's kind of a base game, and you're relying on your skill set, and I like it. I like it, and I think it has a ton of fucking potential.
Yeah.
The question is how much skill set is required? Like that's the thing with Rocket League. There's moves that you can do. There's different things. There's so it's one of those things that
where does the skill cap out?
Yeah, where does the skill cap out?
I think that's gonna be you're probably right. We're the biggest draw and cap for it will be can it have a huge skill ceiling, right? Because that's really what's gonna matter.
Right. I think something that could, because personally, I just want to see more creativity with maps and greater utilization of the glider.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The glider doesn't have a whole lot of usage. I mean, it's there and you can get some utilization out of it in terms of your strategy, but there's not a whole lot of utility that you can get out of it outside of just mobility.
Or if they swapped out that with maybe a grapple, so you can change level on a motherfucking and throw a dodgeball. Different little shit like that might be fly as fuck. Could you imagine instead of having that, if they made it
maybe give you the option for a grapple instead of a glider?
Yep, and you can fucking use it to jump up higher up on shit. To me, that's where if you gave us a map that had multi layers, maze type, and you had to get higher and higher, or shit, even start flooding out a map. Make maps interactive. Do something on a map.
I totally agree. Because right now the glider just feels a little gimmicky. Just a little gimmicky to me.
I feel like you just added
and I think it has a lot of potential.
And if you either you got to do something with it. It just can't be a novelty item. It serves a purpose, but not really. Because as far as I know, you can't fall from fall damage. And gliding around the map.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You get some sense of mobility out of it, but that's really it. It's just mostly gimmicky.
Yeah. So yeah, there's room for improvement. Like I said, I think
shit though. It's fun as shit. Man,
it's a good it's a good game. It's a really good game, and it could be better. There's just small improvements. They got to make the utilities more functional. Give me some fucking Mario type power ups. Do maybe an all-star game mode where power ups are a thing. You know what I mean? There could be different ways of implementing things. I want to see a mega map, maybe even a 3-team map. That shit might be fire. Or do a 4-team map.
There's just personally, I prefer playing the game mode where you play with just regular balls. I don't prefer the game mode with the specialty balls just because, I don't know.
I mean, I think we played a little bit of both. The specialty balls are a little bit harder to use in some instances. Shit. The football.
They are. I like the just 3v3.
Yeah, the lock-on one. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit became difficult. In practice, it was easy as fuck to use.
That sniper ball, yeah.
But it requires you to lock on. Motherfuckers is jumping up and down and moving, and you come in contact with multiple players in a small area. That targeting system gets a little confused, and then you shoot out a dud, and you be like, "What the fuck?" In practice, nigga, I was motherfucking shooting missiles. Now I'm just floating a football across the map. We playing catch.
Hell yeah.
But nah, definitely a game that can be improved on. It has the potential. That's what I'm gonna say. It has the potential to be something way doper.
Yeah, man. I don't know if it's just that in the lower ranks people just fucking suck, but I have
people right now.
I don't know, man. I be popping up with MVPs every other game because I'm so good at that shit.
See? That's what I'm saying. And now I'm about, as soon as we get off of this, I'm going to join my cousin in some ESO.
Man.
Some ESO running.
Words.
Play the new map and shit.
fields.
See what it looks like. Get out here in the fields. I just need her not to pull out her level 348 character to play with my level goddamn 16 or 20 or whatever I'm at.
Dude.
Yeah.
Mine's like 27, I think.
I think we might be in the same ballpark right now. But yeah. Yes, indeed. Dodgeball. Knockout City has hella potential. Hella potential.
Yeah.
And
nobody makes my own blood.
Stupid ass.
They also they gotta put it out there, man. I also feel like it's probably should be a free to play game. Like that's how
I
you
agree.
build
It is free to be free for me because I got the EA pass, but I agree it should be a free to play game.
Be a free to play game. There'll be incentives to dress your characters, but you gotta motherfucking make the shit better. You gotta make the content in there better also. Like those clothes is kind of trash, man.
Some of them just suck, bro. I got that one outfit that comes with the EA pass, and I'm sticking with it. I unlocked the fucking red coloring for it, and I'm sticking with it.
To me, I'm trying to remember because I didn't see the feature where like I could change my shoes. Like the fact that you can't change shoes, shirt, and pants all separately is kind of weird.
Individually. Yeah, that's something I would like to see too. Is like
you
changing the individual articles of clothing rather than like
element of customization. But I think that's important for your money making scheme.
I think that's true, especially in like facial shit too.
Oh man, it felt like it was a little lacking. But again, that's something that can be patched in. The whole clothing thing, I don't know if that can be patched in. And it might be a situation where.
Well, they might have to rework some of the fucking UI to do that. Yeah.
But
yeah, I feel you.
I think it'd be worth a change.
Yeah, I think it would be worth the effort. I think it would definitely be an improvement.
Immediately, I think both me and Dragon, the first time we seen Buddy come out with the chair and the coconut, wanted it immediately.
That's me, dude. I got that shit.
Oh, you a bitch.
I got that shit.
Yeah, that's just cool.
And that's my point. Like, there are items. They have items that make it dope. That, okay, well, shit, I spend $1 or $2 right there for that. Or, shit, if I can grind it out, I grind it out to get to that. And that's to me, that's a major key. You gotta have content that's worth grinding it out for. And right now, the content is kind of meh.
Yeah.
But the game overall is dope. There's just
Yes. Agreed.
Improvement. Much room for improvement.
Yeah. That goes with a lot of them. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Like I don't know. It's really like, will EA really keep pushing it, fixing the things that may arise, because like I don't know how big the player base is currently. With the more people that you inject into it, the more things you find really quickly. I'm broken about your game.
That's true. I haven't had any trouble loading up into lobbies in crossplay. I suspect that the community is larger on PC.
Possibly. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting game. It's pretty fun. Like I enjoyed the running with life and stuff like that, and figuring that stuff out. Like you said, there's frustrating things about it, but that's any game, right? Learning how to play something that's different than anything you've really played before is can be frustrating.
Yeah.
But it is amusing. Trying to think if I saw anything that I didn't know how the hell they did it. But I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But yeah, they're I think um their little store shit that they got going on. I currently don't like it because it's basically daily items, right? Like, you should have like base level stuff that I could go buy that maybe has like one, you know, okay rare item that doesn't change every fucking day.
I fucking totally agree. I hate their little store. There's not enough like variety anyway. Like you don't have enough options anyway of shit to buy.
Yeah, and I'm not like I said, I like it, but I'm not getting out on every day just to check the fucking items.
Yeah.
You can kiss my ass.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
yeah, man.
Some room for improvement.
I think that's about it.
I think we gave you some tips. If you're listening, hopefully,
definitely.
That curveball, that fake out curveball is the truth.
It's pretty nice. Not gonna front.
People will fucking lose. People will fucking miss that every time. You hit that fucking like spin around and fake out curve.
Yeah.
And then actually do it, and people will fucking miss it every time. So stupid.
They add like pitches, like style of throws, like that would be kind of dope.
That would be the shit.
Well, I mean, so far,
stylizing your fucking moves, that would be the shit.
You kind of have that. It's like you have like the curve, the lob, and like the things you can do with it, but it's still pretty
I know, but like stylize your backflip. You know what I mean? Like
all like that's what I'm saying. Like all those little moves can be stylized.
Make it so that you do like a pose midway through it. You know, like I don't know, midway through the animation.
Add like a knuckleball throw. Add like a fastball throw. I mean, there is kind of already a fastball throw, but like just little different things like that.
Or maybe come up with different techniques, like you said, with the fastball or whatever, and make it so that you can map it to circle and triangle or whatever, your button is, rather than that, so that you can switch up your technique.
Yep. Hit them with the all speed. Hit them with the little whoopty-whoop. And build up skill sets. I don't know. I mean, there's different directions they can go with the game, man. Again, potential. It has a lot of it.
This is true.
It does. Could be a cool game. Could be a cool little game.
Yes, sir. Anything else? Any other topics we want to hit?
That I can think of. Not really. I know they have the EA state of EA shit going on. I've heard not much out of it. I think the next one. When is the next one? So they're doing it over like the course of the month, and they did the shooters, which was light info on Battlefield and a couple other things that they're talking about. Whatever. Making better or whatever. It not much had really come out about anything. It was grand. Like I think we got a couple small things about Battlefield, but like I said, nothing groundbreaking. I think here shortly they're doing like the sports game, and then more about Madden is coming out. They're dropping more videos every day. I've seen nothing that made me foam at the mouth. It's just quality of life stuff, right? Like nothing to necessarily write home about. A couple cool things here and there. And has Sony done their fucking shit yet? Their whatever their fucking Sony plays or whatever the fuck they were doing.
Not that I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen nothing on either. So
they're what?
Their Sony showcase.
Oh, not that I've seen either. Yeah, I don't think so. Not yet.
Okay, so yeah, no, not much really. Still pretty quiet on a lot of that. We probably won't have a ton of anything going, like the sports games. The new cycle of them are about to drop here pretty soon. But other than that, it's pretty standard, just waiting until October, November when the new cycle of shooters, like the new, holiday season of shit starts dropping.
Yep. When the so-called triple A's come back around that have already been out, and we on version 22 of
pretty much
version 30.
Like, it's
Madden is right around the corner though.
Yep. My eyes are for currently Battlefield and Humankind. Those are two things waiting for more information on. And other than that, it's just your standard sit and wait and hope something cool is either.
My eyes are laser set on Battlefield, bruh. I'm so ready.
I'm with you on it.
So ready.
Definitely something I am keeping all ears open for. A fucking YouTube show me videos from people about it because I've been watching so much content on it, for Christ's sakes.
As for me, I might actually get The World Ends With You at the end of this month. That show is actually pretty fucking fire, not gonna lie. The soundtrack's pretty good. Yeah. The fucking camera angles are horrid. The camera angles are fucking awful, but because they're fixed. They're fixed camera angles, and that can make it sometimes hard to navigate. You know what I mean? And it's like stylized, so I get it because they're trying to make it like almost comic booky or manga like.
Yeah.
But like, whatever. It's cool. It's just kind of like confusing sometimes looking at the mini map, especially.
I feel that.
It's like, fuck.
What I see is not what I see.
Right. That's not the direction I'm going.
That's the worst.
That's not the direction I'm pointing my joystick.
They said I came a long way, but I went the wrong way. Like, oh shit.
Fair enough.
Well, when I'm pressing down on the joystick and it shows me going left on the fucking mini map and shit, it's just disorienting. Yes. You know?
Yeah, that's low-key obnoxious. I don't like that. But yeah, I don't have anything else that I can think of off the top of my head that I wanted to speak on.
Yeah, I think I'm good for now. I'm gonna do a deep dive into what to look forward to in this next Madden because I'm really debating if I want to get Madden 22. I think that's this year's 2022 Madden 22. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So I think next week we'll have a little segment on what Madden is looking like, what it's shaping up to be.
Like I said, a couple things I've seen are okay. But yeah, once you check it out, see where you're at on it, we'll be able to tell more. Because like I said, I've been watching some of their shit about it. Nothing's streaming at me. It don't look horrible. Like I'm playing this year's, it's pretty fun. If they fix a couple things, it'd be great.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't see anything that I just thought was like, oh my god.
Yeah. See? So we'll see. We'll see.
Other than that,
get on my level, Hope.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
We're gonna be out here doing God knows what over the next week or so. Come check me out.
I might replay Kingdom Hearts 3.
I've been streaming throughout the week, trying to. I usually don't stream too much on the weekends. I guess Saturdays I do D&D. Sundays I do the podcast. Usually afterwards it's like my chill day. I might try to stream here and there in the future, but during the week I stream usually from 7 to 10, somewhere in that ballpark. Check it out. I have the link in the description. Again, if you're watching, there's something that you liked, something that you didn't like, maybe some shit that you know about that we don't know about, or would like to hear us talk about. Would love to have any suggestions, anything like that. Other than that, this was Get On My Level. Holla at you next time.